Different type of content for you guys here today, but trust me when I say that it's going to be of great purpose, all right?
We live in a time where a truth teller is rejected while they are still alive, mocked for their honesty, vilified for their courage, and blamed for the discomfort their words expose. Correction is not cruelty, and honesty is not hatred.
Different type of content for you guys here today, but trust me when I say that it's going to be of great purpose, all right? Now, oftentimes I'll go over wall bangers, right? Women that have lived out tumultuous 20s and 30s and then self-reflect in their 40s and 50s with a lifelong of regret now that they seemingly are forever single. For today's piece of content, I'm going to go over an elder Black woman that's speaking about the valuable contributions that Kevin Samuels made onto the topic of modern dating and relationships from her perspective. All right. Now, the name of her channel is Family Still Matters. I'm going to leave a link to it down in the description box down below if you want to go over there and greet her, tell her MTR sent you. I'm not going to set this up any longer. I just want you guys to watch her thoughts. So let's get active. Without further ado.
We live in a time where a truth teller is rejected while they are still alive, mocked for their honesty, vilified for their courage, and blamed for the discomfort their words expose. Then when their voice is silenced, we rush to call them necessary. We suddenly acknowledge their value, and we mourn what we refuse to honor while it was still before us. And that is not wisdom. That is a tragedy our culture continues to repeat. Welcome back to Family Still Matters. I'm Deborah. Today I want to take time to thoughtfully honor the life, the voice, and the contribution of Kevin Samuels. This is not about agreement. This is about honesty, legacy, and what happens when truth is spoken and rejected. Kevin Samuels did not create the tension between Black men and Black women.
He surfaced
He did not invent broken homes, relational confusion, or unrealistic expectations. What he did was say out loud what many were already living with but refusing to confront.
Am I a masculine woman, or are you a man that's just a bitch too? Nigga, you're a bitch too. I'm a woman and so are you.
People came to Kevin knowingly. They asked questions while already sensing the answer. And when the truth confirmed what they feared,
They would project.
the anger was not turned inward. It was turned toward him. He spoke about accountability, about choices and consequences, about time, standards, marriage, and responsibility. These were not new ideas. They were simply ideas our community had stopped wanting to hear. Truth is not rejected because it is wrong. Truth is rejected because it requires change. Kevin Samuels refused to participate in a culture where feelings are protected, but outcomes are ignored. Here is something we must carry forward. When someone challenges your thinking, pause before you attack them. Truth that never disrupts you is rarely helping you grow. Correction is not cruelty, and honesty is not hatred.
Correction is not cruelty, and honesty is not hatred. Bars. What I find so interesting is that when Kevin used to talk to men, and Kevin would correctly so give the young men with faulty image direct advice and or feedback, seldom would you see the young men project hate onto Kevin. It happened though, and especially when you challenge something that went along with their current identity, such as their hairstyle or even the types of shoes that they would wear. But the majority of the men would take accountability. Now, if you flipped it over towards the women and you point a mirror at their choices and or decisions that they have previously made, most of which they can't go back into the past and change, hitting them with accountability or honesty, direct feedback from how it is that they've decided in the past or what their mindset is like to decide going into the future. I mean, it hit a lot of these women like a slap in the face, but instead of utilizing the information as, okay, time to take accountability, at least the most entertaining or clippable versions of Kevin Samuel's show would have them bite at him and then he would respond and go back and forth. But of the clips that went viral, you don't often see Kevin let him know exactly how it is that he thought about her. But through the emotion captured in that clip, what often you fail to see is what initiated the conversation or what was the context of the conversation. Anyway, I'm going to continue to let her cook. Quick emergency meeting. I was recently searching for my name online and found way too much personal information, which brought me down this weird rabbit hole of how that could have happened and found out that there's companies out there called data brokers that will sell your data to marketers, scammers, and even stalkers. And it's a nasty, disgusting feeling knowing that there's bad actors out there selling my information, selling your information for profit. But that's why I'm recommending today's sponsor, Aura. Now, I use Aura to automatically remove my information from these sites and keep my information off. But they do other things as well, such as bank fraud and identity theft alerts, VPN access. But guys, utilize my link down in the description box down below for a 14-day trial. At least see if you've been compromised. Privacy is king in this day and age, and you should know if your information is out there. So again, utilize my link, aura.com/MTR, in the description box down below to try 2 weeks free. That's way more than enough time to see if your personal data has been exposed. Go now.
What was most heartbreaking was not disagreement while he was alive. It was the response after he passed. To see people celebrate a man's death, a man with a family, a history, and a purpose, reveals something deeper than offense. It revealed unhealed pain. When someone's passing brings joy instead of reflection, it does not prove strength. It exposes brokenness. Disagreement never excuses the loss of humanity. Years later, many of the warnings Kevin Samuel spoke are now openly discussed. The rising of loneliness, the declining in marriages, confusion in dating, and growing resentment between men and women.
And some of these changes actually will influence more families to stay together as opposed to doing it on your own. Just take a look at some of the updates to food stamps as well as Section 8 housing. And in some states back in 2025, legislation or shifts towards shared custody as opposed to giving rights automatically to mothers. But she said something there very powerful in terms of the reaction to Kevin passing away all of a sudden. And I'll say, like, me being around in 2022 and not really understanding the degree of pain that people suffered through to clap at someone's demise, really did paint a picture at the type of people that they are. Nowadays, when something like that happens, I'm so used to it at this point, it seems par for the course on these social media streets that who you view as your ideological opponent, you celebrate your death, I think paints a far bigger picture on who you are as a person.
Well, me and Lisa Ray both had the whole side eye, like, what the hell? Is he kidding me? Healing, healthy. This man was a hypocrite, in my honest opinion. He really was. I didn't find anything about him to be healing. He insulted African-American women on a consistent basis. One of his last statements that he said was that if you're over 38 and you haven't married or something like that, that you're no good and disposable. To me, it was a shock jock. And, I hope this is teaching folks a lesson about the karma that you put out, the negativity that you put out in the world, that when karma comes knocking at your door, she might not be so kind. So, you know, the fact that he killed over real quick and was supposedly with a woman that we don't yet know the nationality, rest in peace.
Was once mocked is now quietly acknowledged. Truth does not need applause to be true. Time eventually confirms what pride tries to silence. Just ignoring truth does not make it disappear. It only delays the consequences.
This one's super simple. You don't need a baby or a ring from every relationship. You don't need a souvenir from every relationship. Put that back. Take your memories. In dating, not only do you learn a lot about the person that you're with, but you also learn a lot about yourself. What you do like, what you don't like, what you can tolerate, what you absolutely cannot tolerate. So if you make a permanent decision with somebody that should have been temporary, you're going to feel the effects of that permanent decision forever. Dating becomes easier the more that you know yourself. If you know you are somebody that does not want kids at all, don't like to be in the vicinity of kids, why would you date somebody with kids? Why would you date somebody that wants kids? You don't have to surprise yourself by finding out how somebody lives by living with them. You could just go to their homes and see how they live. Her bathroom and her car are going to tell you how that house is going to be sometimes. Not too much, but sometimes it's going to be like that. You absolutely can date a person for a couple years without making permanent decisions with them. And I don't care what anybody says. Don't let nobody rush you into getting married or having a baby, because they're not going to be in a rush to help your ass when you're in a rut.
This conversation is bigger than one man. It is a warning to all of us. If we silence every uncomfortable voice, we should not be surprised when wisdom feels absent later. If someone is willing to speak honestly without malice, they should not be destroyed for it. Not every truth teller is gentle, but that does not make them evil. Sometimes love shows up as correction. I'm not asking you to like this video. I'm asking you to leave a comment. Thoughtful, respectful, honestly. What did Kevin Samuel's message reveal to you about relationships, accountability, our culture, or even yourself? Let's talk without rage, mockery, or dismissal. If you want healthier families, stronger relationships, and a more grounded community, we must learn to honor truth while it is still speaking, and not only after it is gone. We must choose humility over hostility, and we must remember that truth, accountability, and correction are not enemies of love. They are often tools God uses to heal us. Thank you for spending this time with me.
She's good.
This is Family Still Matters. I'm Deborah.
Hi, Deborah.
And as always, family still matters because God is the author of family, order, and truth. May God richly bless you.
It's also endearing to see so many people giving their opinions up on these internet streets, irrespective or irregardless of their age. So shout out to Deborah. All right. I don't know what stage of life that, if she's like retired now and she just does this for fun on her free time, but having a platform now to reach thousands, if not millions of people based on the way that you see the world is one of the many benefits of the internet, social media, and platforms like this as it exists today. So shout out again to Deborah for the bravery. It was super interesting from my perspective in being a content creator that was actually speaking about these topics even before Kevin made a shift over in those topics, right? Because within my content creation journey, I got to a point where, you know, I can obviously take a look at who I am as a person, what is happening out here in the dating marketplace, and just be able to talk about it through my own life experiences. But listening to Kevin bring up all of these different facts and stats and statistics, you know, in a way that made it easily digestible. Like I remember I had some videos back in the day where I was I take things to Excel. And I'm like, showing, at the time I was in corporate America, I was an Excel wizard. You understand me? But taking a look back at it, and this is actually something that I talked with Kevin about, and this is one of his many gifts and his talents that I think that so many people don't really have an understanding for is that Kevin's gift was translation. Kevin can take wildly vast and disparate topics and synthesize it, digest it, and spit it back to an audience in one of the most simplest, entertaining ways, in a way that I'm still working on, right? As my talents and gifts as a content creator is in a slightly different kind of way. But with Kevin, that was it. And I remember talking with him about it. I was like, how do you, because he'll be in the middle of saying something and then he'll bring up like a movie quote and, right, like something that happened to him 40 years ago and then combine them together to come out with this conclusion that was just, and it made so much sense. It was so clear, giving the cultural discussion or the cultural norm or the zeitgeist that we kind of all lived in at a time. So, and it's so amazing to see that he garnered so much hate, not only because of the way that he would disseminate this information, but because he was effective. To also know him and have conversation with him at that time, and then know that no matter what videos that people were creating about him, hating him, no matter what comments and comment sections were attempting to discredit him or break him down or to, sign language him into never doing content again, I would talk to him on the phone and it was just like any other day, as if he wasn't the person that he was. You understand me? So it always reminded me is that no matter what, especially if you're in the limelight, especially if you want to make change, especially if you want to be a cut above the rest, cut through the noise, cut through the middle. Who cares what they're saying? If you believe it, and if you know you are effective at it, and it has objectively some truth behind it, then do it. Nevertheless, I appreciate Deborah creating this content to help him reinvigorate some of these thoughts. One of the things that I also promised to myself is that I was going to keep on servicing his content for as long as what I could, as other people that called themselves, friends of his have seemingly left his legacy behind. I am still here. And in fact, you could see I have tributes to him up in my studio that I will continue to be able to leverage because I understand the importance or the value or the impact that he had, and I refuse to let that legacy die. And I promise that to his mother and as well as his daughter. I'm going to keep on making sure that the things that he taught everybody continues to produce values and dividends. But all right, guys, in order to end off this video, I wanted to find some other women, not like the Vivica Fox type women, right? The wall bangers. I wanted to find some other women speaking positively about Kevin as well. So enjoy.
I find it funny how the same people who don't like Kevin Samuels and say he was so disrespectful are the same people who support rap and hip hop culture, which are both known for the degradation, exploitation, and sexual abuse of black women. Only reason why people didn't like him is because he made them feel stupid about their ideologies of what made somebody high value and what was needed in a good relationship.
I am celibate. I've been celibate for 2 years.
What?
I've been celibate for 2 years.
Where'd that come from? 2 people that came out of you. What you talking about? What's the philosophy here? You're not a virgin. You got 2 people came out of you. What's going on?
Oh, no, you did not.
Oh, no, you did not.
And I'm going to tell you the reason behind that is because when I do open my legs, the men, they get crazy.
What you mean?
Do you want me to be blunt for you?
I want you to keep it classy, but you trying to say they get pee-whipped?
Yes.
So let me get this right. So you meet a man that's a high-value man. I think you're going to be celibate for what? What, till you married?
Yes.
You got your goddamn mind.
I just find it so disgusting how there are some women out there who are actually celebrating the death of Kevin Samuels. It hasn't even been 24 hours and you are posting memes, you are posting jokes. What's funny? You say you disagree with his messages and his delivery, but literally you guys are spewing hate on someone you haven't even met. The bashing that you said he did, you're doing the same thing. And for what? Trying to correct us as a community? Trying to get us to realize that we have things to work on too? He didn't sugarcoat his message. He didn't dress it nicely and try to fancy it up. He spoke the truth raw and uncut because that's what some of y'all need to hear. And for some of y'all to be laughing at his death, God gonna deal with y'all.
But all right, guys, hopefully you enjoyed yourself within this content here today. For I know that I have. I appreciate you guys for continuing to come back, continuing to rock with me. Let me know what you guys want to talk about in forthcoming videos, and I'll see you soon. Until next time, peace.
So, without further ado, MTR, cut through the BS like we in charge. No cap with the rappers like steel bars. I'm packing and rapping like here we are. Mediocre tutorial reviews. Like, comment, share my views. Come up and I paid my dues. Big step in my black way shoes. MTR, he break it down, yeah, it's MTR. Check out the sound with his MTR. No one put it down like it's MTR.